Hey, how's it going, everyone? I was sitting here playing my game today, working on my city. One of them, I have several that I'm working on. And I remembered not too long ago that I posted something about the death rate and how you can have a very, very normal death rate and you can make people think that it's a catastrophic situation going on. And I happen to be going through a death wave in my city right now. And I thought it would make a pretty good example of what I was talking about on how it goes. And if you sit and you just look at my city, now everything here I built, except for the landscape itself. And you look over my city, it all looks nice and peaceful. No major problems going on, you think. Let's see, my city, I'm not quite sure how old it is right now. But this is the oldest part of my city over here. Lower Falls and Upper Falls. This is where I started everything and I expanded out this way. Now right now, my death wave is going on in the mid-range part of my city. Right in here. I just had a death wave. This was ate up pretty bad. Well, I'll show you. I had markers everywhere over here in the older part. Now it's moved over here into the middle part. And here in a little later, I'll have a death wave up here in the newest part. And this is what that looks like. Boom. Look at all the dead people. I mean, if you just happen to look at this and you didn't know anything about it, you'd think that I had a major pandemic or something going on here. But the fact of the matter is, it's not. It's just a natural occurrence. This is the older people dying off. I get these waves all the time in my city. And they, like I said, they start out in the older part. I'll get a death wave here. Oh, I got a couple of dead people there. And then it moves across my city as, you know, I get into the older and older people. And we can see that this is my death rate. As you can see, I started building this city in 2021. 6 years later, I started having people die. And then as the original adult people, because that's all I had in my city to begin with was adult people. And then kids started showing up. That's just, those adults that first occupied my city are getting older and older and older. And as you can see, I have spikes. And I have some pretty dramatic ones up to 2041 or 2039 to 2041. That's when I first saw my really, really big first wave of death. And it was a major one. It spiked up and then it dropped way down. I didn't have any dead people for, like a year. And then it spiked way up again. And then down again. And then up again. And then down again. And these are the death waves. It's the older people who are dying off in my city. Because as we can see here, right now, 32% of my population are seniors. The other 30% are adults, and then it goes down to young adults, 19, teens, 13. I got 6% children. But I'm at 350 births a week with 224 deaths a week right now. Usually it's around 170 something deaths a week, but right now I'm going through a spike. So if you were to just look at this, all these dead people around here, you would think I had a major problem going on in my city, but in all actuality, it's just completely natural, completely normal. It's the older people dying off as the years go by. The bigger my city gets, the older it gets, the more I have these death waves. I mean, it looks really bad, but here in game time, once a couple of years pass, all of these will be gone. I mean, they'll be gone pretty quick because I got a lot of cemeteries and they'll be working overtime. When you have the red skulls like this one, that means my cemeteries are having a hard time keeping up with the dead, and that happens. But that's kind of what I wanted to show. I could make, if I was, let's say, the press inside my game, I could make everybody in this city believe that there was a pandemic going on right now. Everybody's dying. And it's the same thing we're seeing right now. Who are the primary people that are dying, that are getting counted in the numbers of this pandemic? It's the old people. And that's what's happening right here in this game, is my old people are dying off. It looks terrible, looks really, really bad, looks scary, but it's completely normal, and I go through this, well, all the time. Like I said, this whole area over here, not too long ago, looked just like this area. And it moves across my city. It'll literally wave over here. Like this area right here, I've got a few dead people in here, but this is a newer part of the city. And I don't have the death wave over there. And it's kind of weird when you watch it, you speed up time or something. You can literally see it. It'll start here. I won't have any dead people for a while, and then I'll have all kinds of dead people here. Won't have dead people for a while, then I have all kinds of dead people here. No dead people for a while, then all kinds of dead people up here, and then no dead people for a while, and it just starts all over again. And I thought that would be a really good representation of what I was talking about. Because the media and the politicians, it would be very, very easy to take a situation like this and just scare the ever-living hell out of your population with it, when it's just a completely normal and natural occurrence. Like I said, over a course of some time, my cemeteries will pick all these dead people up, and then I won't have dead bodies for a while, and then the whole process will start all over again. But while I'm in here, that's one of the things I could say about this. I know people say, oh, it's just a game, but actually it's a whole lot more than a game, because all I started out with on here is the land. There wasn't a building anywhere. The land, I had the highways, and that's it. Everything else I built. And the people ask me how I know so much about economics and everything, is because I do it right here in this game. I have to take care of everything. I have to budget. You know, trash, garbage, fire. And whenever I see something that's going down, like right now with the death rate, I just boosted my health care up to 150%, so that my cemeteries and my crematoriums and everything, they'll have a better chance to pick all the dead people up. And then once the dead people are gone, I'll drop that budget back down. But you have to take care of everything. You can take out loans. You can check your incomes and your expenses, see where everything is going. I'm in the red right now because I've got a whole bunch of roads built and I'm paying taxes on them. You manage everything. You have to set up your electrical grid. Almost all of my power, the majority of my power, is coming from these 5 dams right here. I dammed off these rivers. That's giving me my power. You have to set up your water system. And if you set your water system up wrong, you'll poison your entire population. I killed an entire city once because I did my water system wrong. Set up, I'm pretty good on my crime. I got police stations. All those purple things you see are my police stations and jails and stuff like that to keep the crime rate down. If I had areas that weren't protected, they'd be red. Healthcare shows all of my hospitals. And there again, anywhere that's not protected or covered by healthcare, it would be red. Education. And this is really maddening to me. I mean, look at that. I got schools right here and it's all red around there. I've got schools everywhere. And I still have problems with the education. It says, okay, high school availability. I have a university. Looks like I might need to build another one because it's getting down there kind of low. Public libraries, elementary schools. Citizens happiness, it tells you how everybody's doing. See, I need to work on my commercial happiness, get that up a little bit more, because what all of that does is it builds your land value, which is this. Everywhere that it's green, that's high land value. And the only reason it's green is because I built on it. And this city has grown quite a bit. 89,000 people in my city right now. But it's everything. Leisure, entertainment. That's land values, levels, your building levels, outside connections. These are import and export, or what these colors you're seeing are. The purple buildings are exporting goods, and then I have blue buildings, just a few of them that are importing goods. Like this is importing goods on my... And yeah, you have to set up your own industry, everything. You have to worry about traffic. Right now my traffic flow is not too bad. This is my worst place right here. I mean, look at that traffic. But you have to manage your traffic. You have to set up transportation, and you have to keep track of all of this. Like I said, I'm down on my budget right now, primarily because I jacked my budget up to make my cemeteries better. And I have a bunch of open roads that I don't have buildings on, and I'm paying tax on them with no revenue coming in from the buildings. I mean, anything that you would have to do in a city, in a real city, you have to do in this game. Road maintenance, you have to set that up. Traffic routes. And this is your pollution level. You have to pay real close to pollution. Attention to pollution, because like I have resident areas here. I got to keep them away from the pollutant areas, but these are garbage collection services. I have to have them. And I have to have them in areas that the garbage will pick up. It's just a necessary evil. Even noise pollution, you have to pay attention to that too in your residential areas. You don't want to have a whole lot of red in them. Like my airport right there. That's a lot of noise. A lot of noise in that commercial area. This airport, all kinds of noise. And these are your minerals and everything. I have yellow, that's a farm. This farm right here is taking care of all of my city's food needs. This farm and this fishery are completely covering the food needs of my city. And up here is ore and wood. These are my industries that are keeping me in money. So where I make my money is through these industries, wood and ore. Plus I have an auto factory that's making car parts. I have a factory that makes steel out of the ore, and all of that is making me money. And it all has to go back in my city. Yeah, garbage collection, all the coverage of that. Heating, well, I'm using electricity for heat. Earthquake detection. That's another thing you have to worry about, is natural disasters. Not too long ago, this dam broke. And it completely flooded out my little island entertainment area here, flooded it out. It completely flooded this area out. I mean, it caused a real big mess. And then, of course, your budget goes to hell, and you gotta work, and you gotta work, and you gotta work, and you gotta rebuild it. just like you would if you were in a real city. Escape routes, tourism. You got to manage tourism too. I have a lot of tourists. I mean, if you just look at my airport here, look at the people waiting at my bus stop, and look at the people coming out of the airport. These are all tourists coming to visit my city, and I make money off of all of them. It's one of the ways I make my most amount of money is off of tourism. And it's non-stop. These airplanes never stop. Sometimes I have 3 or 4 of them taking off at the same time. And that tourism all brings in money. Because of course you got to watch your budget. Let's see. Oh yeah, your national parks and stuff. I have parks set up. The number of stars is how productive they are. 5 is the best. Amusement park. And more nature park over here. And a zoo. Like I said, I built all of this, everything over time, because you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, otherwise you'll just completely annihilate your budget. I've been in the green a couple of times. If I'd stopped building roads, and I'd probably be in the green right now. But this is primarily what I wanted to show, was the death wave. I'm having another one here. Looks like I might have some issues. I got a lot of red skulls there. Means my cemetery is having trouble keeping up. But anyways, that's what I wanted to mainly show on here is death wave. It's completely normal. It happens every few years. I have a major wave of death come through. That's pretty much what I wanted to show, but I figured I'd talk about my cities while I'm in here. You build these things, and you literally, anything that you would have to do with a real city, you have to do in this game. So it teaches you about economics and stuff. People think, oh, it's just a video game. Actually, it's a really good teaching tool. Alright, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I said what I wanted to show, which was the death rate and everything, and explain just how easy it would be to panic. Everybody in my city thinking there was a pandemic going on, just by that natural death wave that's going on because the seniors dying. And who is it who is dying right now is jacking these numbers up? It's seniors. Just something to think about.